Learning outcomes. Dear students, after studying this module, you shall be able to know about disk imaging, difference between disk imaging and cloning, the need for disk imaging, different tools used for disk imaging and advantages of disk imaging. First, introduction to disk imaging. Disk imaging is a fundamental process in digital forensics. Storage devices are one of the many evidences we encounter at the crime scene. It is of prime significance that every evidence needs to be handled with care and there should not occur any alteration during the investigation of digital crime. During digital investigation, there are chances that the data collected may get intentionally or accidentally destroyed. At such times, the evidence cannot be present in the court. Investigator has to follow the proper chain of custody. To avoid changes in seized storage device, one instruction that is to be followed by the investigator is do not touch the original evidence. It means that we are not supposed to perform any operation related to analysis directly on original device. In disk imaging, we make exact copies of storage devices or its partition and then store it in a large storage or directly burn it on another device. It looks like a copy-paste operation, but it is not. In copy-paste operation, we just move data from one location to another location, but there is no possibility that the source addressing is maintained. Also, in copy-paste operation, data existing on the target location is not overwritten because it is stored only in free location. Whereas in cloning or imaging, data and its location is considered. In an image, file data is stored along with its source location, and in cloning, processed data from source will be replicated as it is and old address scheme is considered. Let's take a small example. If we copy a bootable CD on another blank CD, then the new CD does not become bootable, even though it has the exactly same data like the original one. To make another CD bootable, we have to go for cloning or imaging. Next is the need for disk imaging. Only storage devices may contain digital evidence. All devices may contain physical evidence too. For this reason, investigator has to analyze the seized device itself. If investigator directly starts working on original drive, then during investigation, following scenarios may occur. First is accidental alteration. Some files are changed accidentally during the investigation process. Any change in storage device changes the hash value of the entire drive. Any change in hash value indicates the device did lose its integrity and it cannot be produced before court. Second is intentional alteration. Parties related to incident can compromise the evidence by compromising the investigator or by compromising any person who has access to the devices. Investigators can remove or destroy evidences from the source drive. Also, they can plant false evidences too. Alteration due to infected system or system utilities. As an investigator, it is always recommended to keep investigation system healthy and safe from infection of harmful program. If the drive is connected directly and the system is infected by malwares, then malwares can alter the directly connected drive, which may cause loss of evidence. There are some system utilities such as scheduled defragmentation process, checking and repairing for bad sectors. These tools and utilities may also alter the attached drive. Several standard algorithms like MD5, SHA, etc. accepts file or file system or disk as input and provides a string value as output. This operation is irreversible, and any small change in input will affect the output. This value has very great importance in court to prove the integrity of the evidence. The integrity of the drive is questioned if any of the files, no matter what its size is, are deleted, as it will affect the value of the entire drive that is created using algorithms like MD5 or SHA or any other similar algorithm. The intention behind these points is to show risks of attaching the acquired devices to the investigation machine directly. Handling an investigation of digital evidences is very critical, and this is where disk imaging comes in the picture. Advantages of disk imaging. We already discussed the risk in performing operations directly on storage devices. In disk imaging, investigator can make duplicate copy or copies which consist of exactly same data along with the same position or address. Therefore, after imaging, investigator has an exact copy of device, so he can put the original storage device back into safe custody. The investigator can perform multiple numbers of experiments on the copy he made referred to as image. In case of a complicated case where a large investigation team is involved, then we can share that image with all the members of the team, and every member can then start an independent investigation to speed up the whole process. The image can be split and shared through internet or cloud, so there is no need to carry the original device physically. The experts can share only essential part to another. For example, if we know the evidence resides on drive E, then we can share only the image of that drive. The major advantage of digital evidences is that we can create multiple number of replicas without affecting the quality or the integrity of the original. Next is choosing between imaging and cloning. Imaging and cloning both are parallel options. So the question is which one to choose whenever there is a need to perform actions on the evidence, then imaging of the drive is done. And whenever there is a need to perform actions in the evidence, then cloning of the drive is done. Cloning needs a similar device, whereas imaging needs memory space. The captured image can be mounted on many of the software, which allows the investigator to navigate through the image. An image can be prepared if the content of the drive is required for investigation. Also, the drive can be cloned and then connected as a secondary drive, which allows the investigator to browse through it. If the investigator is interested in behavior of the seized system, then cloning is a good option. Next is tools available for imaging and cloning. In imaging, the complete drive or device is transferred to a similar file and is stored in some other device. In cloning process, another equivalent device is created that is bit by bit similar to the source device. For imaging, software is available, but for cloning, hardware as well as software, both types of tools are available. First is Solo 4. This is an independent hardware unit to copy or clone one drive on another. It has very simple touchscreen interface and sports Serial Advanced Technology Attachment, that is SATA, External Serial Advanced Technology Attachment, that is eSATA, and Universal Serial Bus, that is USB, Statistical Analysis System, that is SAS, etc. It can clone one source drive into two drives simultaneously, one many cloning. It has 1 to 2, 2 to 2 and 1 to 2 options. It has LAN interface too. It is portable and it has high speed. It has its built-in write blocker, so the chances of accidental damage is greatly reduced. Solo 4 has its own operating system, so it is not a Windows-based system. Therefore, there is no question of malware infection at all. Kit comes with different wires and adapters to connect various types of storage devices. There are different variants of Solo 4 with different sizes and dimensions. The device is a plug and play. Investigator just needs to plug into the power supply and connect source and destination storage devices at proper ports. The only care that needs to be taken while using this device is that the destination storage device always has to be of equal or more capacity than the source. Next is forensic Dossier. Logicube manufactured this product. Even after its discontinuation, the product is still available in the market. It is almost similar to Solo 4. The user can see the drive information and can replicate drives. This tool has a built-in GPS facility to mark the location of operation. It can wipe old drives so we can use it for a new case. Next is SuperSonix. SuperSonix hardware drive duplicator, the second generation of Logicube's popular Sonix, is a compact and portable cloning solution with blazing cloning speeds approaching 8 GB per minute. A full-color touch screen provides an easy-to-use interface and built-in support for SATA and IDE, along with optional SAS drive support, makes the SuperSonix an extremely versatile duplicator. This single-target, single-master hard drive duplicator saves time and resources for all of the cloning tasks, including deploying new software or operating systems, upgrading computers, or to create a disk image backup of hard drives. Novice users will appreciate the wizard function that steps them through key cloning operations. The SuperSonix includes advanced software for a variety of cloning modes and features, support for verification of the cloned drive using an MD5 signature of target drive. Next is WinHex. It is not just a cloning software tool, but also it comes with hex editor, data recovery and forensic tools tool. This tool is used to open a storage device as a physical or logical device, or both ways. Logical device, like a partition, is always a subset of physical device. Each one of the physical device may contain one or more logical partition. In WinHex, we can open a device, take a snapshot and save it. If necessary, we can burn one snapshot to another empty device. While using WinHex, it is important to note that the source media should be lesser than destination media. Then only WinHex will allow us to do so. If we clone 8 GB pen drive A on 16 GB pen drive B, then after cloning, B will look like 8 GB. Therefore, after going through computer management options, we can see that there are two partitions on B. First is 8 GB, which is exactly similar to the source, and remaining space will be shown as unallocated partition. Therefore, After cloning, we will have a replica of original pen drive to perform our experiments. Next is FTK Imager. The Forensic Toolkit Imager or the FTK Imager is a commercial forensic imaging software package distributed by SS Data. The FTK Imager Lite version can be installed and executed from a CD or DVD or USB media. It supports imaging of active or live or inactive systems. It can be installed on a pen drive to make the setup portable. Portable setups are required in case of acquiring a live system where we cannot shut it down due to possibility of data loss. FTK Imager is only used for imaging, whereas for analysis another package is available, that is FTK. Acquired image can be shifted to larger memory and then investigations can be performed. Next is EnCase Forensic Imager. It is one of the well-known software from Guidance Software. It is a proprietary software. It supports live acquisition for systems with redundant array of independent disks RAID technology. Live acquisition is the only option. In such cases, this software is better than others. Even when the machine is shutting down, the evidence extraction is not so easy or feasible. Then live acquisition is the only option. In addition, it supports dumping RAM, so later investigator can assess the contents in the RAM. Moreover, later on we can study the acquired image on another machine. While imaging, tools asks about preferences, which includes drives to be imaged, nature of target image file, single or split. In case of split, maximum size of individual file. It asks for RAM image too. It is very useful for investigation on RAID. After getting a device which is not live, we can go for EnCase software. It has a built-in imaging and analysis tool wherein all devices connected to investigation machine are visible in EnCase. We can either make an image of selected partition or whole device. Next is Acronis True Image Home. It is well-known utility software. It is not at all a digital forensic tool, but is used to make image of entire drive or partition and restore it on same or different device. It is not only useful for investigation, but also for damage control. Companies take system backup after specific period in case of any kind of failure in the system. The last successful backup is restored to reduce the intensity of damage. It can be installed on any system, or we can make a bootable media to do the imaging. Next is Clonezilla. This is more like a bootable Linux distribution that can do bit-by-bit copying, and it supports a ton of file systems. There is an unattended mode and multicast port built in. Clonezilla might be the single most powerful disk copy tool available free of cost. Clonezilla SE can clone 40 machines at once. Clonezilla uses a curses-based interface, so some might find it a bit challenging at first. It is lightweight. It provides enough good interfaces and there is not much graphics. We need to create its bootable media first and then reboot the system with that media in it. Then the system will show options gradually. It will show all storage devices attached to the local system. Then it will allow us to choose source and destination drives. It offers selective cloning and entire disk cloning too. It also supports remote copy. It can restore one image in multiple locations and times. Next is Drive Image XML v2.50. This is by runtime software. The said software is very small. It can also make image and can restore the same. It supports logical and physical imaging. It allows going through the acquired image and extracting individual file from the image to local or host file system. It is actually utility software where we can schedule the operations. Next is precautions for disk imaging. Disk cloning hardware are dedicated tools used for replication. They have their own system designed especially for cloning. Cloning hardware has a built-in write blocker, so there is no need to connect any additional write blocker hardware. Original device is never connected directly to the investigation machine. It may increase the possibility of damage. In case of software imaging tools, investigator must place a hardware write blocker in between device and system to avoid damages. Source device should be used only once, and that too for the imaging only. For further requirements, replicas are made from the first copy. Image files are better for distributed investigation environment and when we want to perform operation on the device. Next is first incident response. After visiting scene or site, there are many possibilities. They are as follows. First, shut down machines, tag every connection and take photo, search for the physical evidence first, open and find out the storage device, make enough documentation like serial number, size, manufacturer of disk, etc. Seal it in a proper way and go for further operations. Second case, live machines with no harmful activity. Take a photo of current activity first. Ensure that after shutting down the system, it will not harm the investigation. Hibernate option will be beneficial, so after imaging, we can directly resume the system. Third is live machine with harmful activity going on, that is destroying data, etc. Capture a snapshot. As soon as possible, remove the power cord to avoid further damage. Then start with imaging of the disk. Next is commonly used algorithms. SHA stands for Secure Hash Algorithm. Cryptographic hash functions are mathematical operations run on digital data. By comparing the computed hash, the output from execution of the algorithm, to a known and expected hash value, a person can determine the data's integrity. MD5 message digest algorithm is a widely used cryptographic hash function producing a 128-bit hash value, typically expressed in text format as a 32-digit hexadecimal number. MD5 has been utilized in the wide variety of cryptographic applications, commonly used to verify data integrity. We'll end this module with the summary. Disk imaging is a fundamental process in digital forensics. In disk imaging, we make exact copies of storage devices or its partition and then store it in a larger storage or directly burn it on another device. Only storage devices may contain digital evidence. All devices may contain physical evidences too. Several standard algorithms like MD5, SHA, etc. accepts file or file system or disk as input and produces a string value as output. This operation is irreversible and any small change in input will affect the output. This value has very great importance in court to prove the integrity of the evidence. The different tools available for imaging and cloning are Solo4, Forensic Dossier, SuperSonix, WinHex, FTK Imager, EnCase Forensic Imager, Clonezilla, Acronis True Image Homes, Drive Image, XML v2.50, etc. It is always required to take necessary precautions to maintain the integrity of the evidence and at the end help the investigation. SHA and MD5 are the most popular algorithms used by experts to calculate the hash values and check the integrity of the evidence. Thank you.